Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl, the Binge and B. What you watching on TV? All right, so I done made it to season 1, episode 6. This is the Creep Tapes, and today we visited Mom and her friend, Albert. So we opened up the episode with Wolfie driving. While he's driving, he's really just discussing his love for movies. And he expresses that movies aren't really just movies. Some of the best ones actually become a part of it. He then goes into Forrest Gump and like one of his favorite scenes in that movie. Now, as he's discussing this scene, we hear a loud thump that comes from the trunk. So he pulls over the car, gets out, he goes back to the trunk, and he bludgeons or whatever he does it to death on whoever's on the inside. Credits roll. So by now it's dark out. He gets to a house. He approaches it slowly. As he's walking up, he's filming and he's looking through a window, and we spot who we presume to be Mom. It feels like he intends to sneak up and maybe scare her. So as he creeps around a little bit more, she actually scares him. She picks up his camera as he falls down to film him, and he's apparently pretty embarrassed. Now this cuts to where they are in the kitchen and the camera's still on him. Mom is trying to feed him a cracker and he refuses to eat it. She then tries to airplane food into his mouth. He refuses. They talk a little bit, and then now it takes us to them both standing in a room. The feel is that this is his childhood bedroom. They reminisce a little bit, a few memories come up. Then he realizes this is not his room. He gets pissed off and then he throws a tantrum. Mom is trying to calm him down. Somehow during the tantrum, he ends up face down on the other side of the bed. She approaches him slowly and he asks her if she went to the store. Cut back to the kitchen. Now he's sitting there eating cheese and some kind of salami. As they're talking, they agree to have a sleepover together. Just as they're having this discussion, an elderly gentleman walks in. This is Mom's friend, Mr. Albert. He comes in and introduces himself. Now, Wolfie is pissed and he's not even trying to hide it. So he gets up and he walks outside. Since he disappeared and went outside, his mom goes to find him. As she's walking outside, she can see where he's disrobed along this pathway. She's finding shirts, shorts, and drawers. Then she finds him ass up, face down. In the pool. She smacks him on his ass to get his attention. He pops up and it kind of startles her a little bit. Now we cut back where they're all sitting down. Looks like Mom and Albert are eating and Wolfie is standing there filming with the camera. And they all just kind of converse, trying to get to know each other. And you can see on Mom's face that she is clearly nervous about the situation. The conversation is very awkward. Albert is a pretty sweet man and he's doing the best he can to explain how they met. For some reason, he uses the term, one thing led to another. Now this opens up a can of worms that Wolfie decides he wants to indulge. Albert's a little taken aback because he's put on the spot. Wolfie is basically trying to get Albert to admit that he's fucking his mom. Albert don't want to talk about it. They converse a little bit more and Wolfie basically says he wants to know what goes on in his room. Then Mom makes a reference to what she and Albert tend to do with her breasts. This leads into a conversation where Wolfie says something about the breast belonging to him and how it's his sacred breast. But Mom reveals that she never even breastfed him. Poor Mr. Albert. He just wanted to change the topic. In an effort to change the subject, Albert mentions that he saw something that needed to be fixed on Wolfie's car. He offers to make this repair for him. We cut to Albert and Wolfie going over to the car. Albert needs to get to the jack that's in the back of the car, typically in the trunk. Wolfie tosses him the keys. Mr. Albert opens up the trunk. He finds the body. He's pretty stunned, so he doesn't really say a whole lot, but Wolfie basically says they can't tell his mom. Now, just as they're getting to that point, Mom actually kind of sneaks up on them to see them down there at the car. She and Albert go back to the house while it looks like Wolfie Wolfie ventures off to do something else. As Albert and Mom come back toward the house, Albert is trying to explain to her that he thinks he saw a body in her son's trunk. Mom is acting surprised. But just as she's acting surprised, Wolfie and Peach Fuzz show up in the background. This is where he hits Mr. Albert in the head with an axe. Now, Mom is pissed off, but not for the reasons that we would think she would be. Apparently, she's offended because she liked Mr. Albert and she's really not happy about this mess. So as a punishment, she's gonna make Wolfie bury the body by himself. He picks up Mr. Albert and he's walking toward the back of the yard. As he's carrying Albert to the back of the yard, he makes a another Forrest Gump reference. The further they get to the grave, we can see that it was already pre-dug. He reveals to his mom that when he told her he had to go to the bathroom, this is what he was really doing. He puts Albert in and covers him up, and he and his mom sit down and they have a talk. She lets him know that she really liked Mr. Albert, so it feels like she's kind of disappointed. She goes over to the grave to say goodbye to Mr. Albert. Wolfie makes another Forrest Gump reference. It's at this point where she apologizes to him for never breastfeeding him, and he asks her if it's too late. She doesn't really say anything, but she opens up her robe and he goes in to latch. They sang a song, and I guess it was a good night. Okay. So episode 6, this is the finale to the season 1 of the Creep Tapes. Yo, oh, there's so much to say about this episode. Well, there's not that much to say about it. I will say that I think this one was actually, I thought it was sad. I was sad the way Mr. Albert went out. You can see he was a really sweet man and he just wanted to be kind. And then for him to go out like that, it's like, God damn. And I'm like, damn, what about his family? Like, he got kids, and then like he was at her house, and people know they've been messing around probably in that little local town or whatever. So it just seems a little messy and a little bit more intimate, I guess, than some of his other conquests. So I thought it was a sad episode. Ironically, it's probably one of the funnier episodes that I saw. The funniest thing in this episode to me, and I don't know, it could just be because I'm crazy as hell too, I don't know. But when he is carrying Mr. Albert down to the grave, he calls out to his mom and he's like, yo mom, he was like, it reminds me of when Forrest was looking for Bubba. And then this fool say, I gotta find Bubba. I know that's really, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that funny. But I'm gonna tell you why that's so funny to me. I think that is hilarious to me because I know that a lot of this shit is done by improv. So just the fact that Mark thought to say, I gotta go find Bubba in the Forrest Gump voice in that moment, like it took me out. I laughed at that shit probably 2 or 3 minutes. I don't know why I thought that was so fucking funny. I thought it was so funny. It just highlights how much of a genius this dude is when it comes to this particular craft. This thing right here, he was made for this shit. So yeah, that was hilarious to me. I don't know why that just sticks out. And it doesn't probably sound that funny as I'm talking about it. If you watch the episode, then you'll see what I mean, especially if you've seen the Forrest Gump movie. If you are of a certain age and you remember seeing it as a kid or whatever, I don't know, it just hit different. It just shit that had me cracking up. I just thought that was the funniest shit ever. The other thing that I found interesting, which I think it's been done in the horror genre, you know, the man killer and his twisted and demented relationship with his mother, you know. Now I am a mother, and so I guess what it highlights to me also is the deep and profound unconditional love we tend to have for our babies, you know what I'm saying? And I know I've even said to my kid, like, it ain't shit you could do that I'm not gonna love you, you know what I'm saying? Now this is some next level shit, I will admit. This right here is some next level shit, but it really rings true, you know what I mean? Especially if you have a good relationship or a positive relationship with your children. Some people hate each other, and that's a whole nother thing, but you know, there seems to be a weird closeness with him and his mom. I don't know how I feel about the breastfeeding thing. Of course, that's added for shock value. We need this shit to be as over the top as possible, so I get it. I don't feel no kind of way about it. This is a decent finale. This was a decent finale. So we made it to the end of season 1 of the Creep Tapes. I am salivating to sink my teeth into season 2. Let's do it. So that's all I got to say about this shit, y'all. It's your girl, the Binge and B. I'm finna go find me something else to watch on TV. Bye.